Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and this is the premiere of our Make It Monday event that launches today. You can hear I'm still a little sick. Last week I was just so sick when I got home from Germany. I am doing so much better, thank you very much. Unfortunately, I got my children sick, so now the boys are not feeling so well and everybody's a little under the weather. But I am here and excited to bring you today's Make It Monday featuring Penny Black. Now a few things. Last week when I was sick, or at 2 o'clock in the morning in Germany, I accidentally launched this product at that time without realizing it. I made it live on our site. So it's been up on our site and I had no clue until today. You may have already ordered this product. It's possible, but at least now you get to see how we're going to use it in today's Make It Monday. 2, I am still a little sick and I have a drink over here, and if I need to, I'll try not to, but if I need to, I'm going to grab a drink and hopefully not cough. And I'm having just a moment trying to come up with words. I don't know if it's that I'm 54, going to be 55 years old, and I'm having trouble grabbing words out of thin air, but my goodness gracious. I looked at a Stumpy for a minute today, a full minute, and couldn't think, what was this called again? I have a feeling that I'm just still a little fuzzy from being sick. Now, this is the premiere of Make It Monday for this week, and that means I have got a value price bundle for you. Penny Black makes amazing products, and you know she makes amazing products, and I know that they make amazing products, but they can be a little pricey, sometimes a little pricey. And these are 8 individual stamps that for one reason or another just didn't sell through as they had hoped they would. They're a little bit older, yes, absolutely, but just as good today as the day they were manufactured. And we're gonna be able to bring you $91 worth of Penny Black product for just $19.99. One bundle, $19.99. It is a phenomenal deal if you are into stamping, if you've never stamped before and you want to try stamping, if you always have loved Penny Black but they've been a little bit out of your price range. This is the time to take advantage of the sale because it really is amazing. The sale will not start until the premiere of Make It Monday ends. That means if you're watching and there's a live chat going on over here, they're not available yet. You have to wait until we're all done with today's Make It Monday YouTube class, and then we'll make them live. You will see me type in ready in the live chat, set, go, and then it will be there for you. I did accidentally launch these a little bit earlier than I was supposed to. Again, I was in Germany. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I just clicked the wrong button. So if you already have them on order, your order will ship out as with the rest of this collection, all the other expedited orders for this Make It Monday. Congratulations, you got your order in before anybody else. Wahoo kachoo. And because it's a Make It Monday, I'm not just going to show you the product and show you fabulous samples, which they are, but I'm also going to make something with them, or at least show you how you can make something with them. The bundles are always limited for Make It Monday because we can only buy what the manufacturer has to sell. I would say that if you are looking for a gift for somebody who wants to start stamping or who you think might like to start stamping, this is a wonderful for $20, this is a wonderful gift. I know the quality of this product. This is a wonderful gift for somebody. And if you are, let's just say, not the best colorer, not all these stamps need coloring, but I'll tell you, this is also a very good bundle to use as tools to learn how to color, where you can just stamp the same image again and again and again and practice your coloring until you feel like you are a rock star. Now, I personally think even if you try to color, you are a rock star. And I'm hoping today I'm going to be able to show you a few tips and tricks that will help you color a little bit easier. Absolutely. So I've got the penny black stamps. I've got some inks that we're going to play with. I've got colored pencils that we're going to play with, because colored pencils and watercolor pencils are totally different things. They behave differently, and so I'm going to play with colored pencils today, because I think that is probably one of the easiest ways to color anything. Anything where you are successful from the very beginning. All right, so I'm going to show you the bundle. I'm going to walk through the bundle with you, and then I'll save samples to the end. I am going to start, when I tilt down, I'm going to start with the colored pencils and just kind of give a rough overview of those, and then we're going to start stamping. It is Make It Monday with Penny Black today. Don't know if this will launch at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. I'll see. We're very, very short-handed. We are down 5 people right now because now my boys are out sick. So we are all just pulling together to do the best we can. And I got up here I should have done this Friday, but Friday I was taping Saturday and I was so sick. And then, anyway, we're here now and we're together, and I'm so grateful that you have joined me for today. All right, you guys, I'm going to tilt on down. I'm going to show you the bundle. I'm going to show you the price, and then we'll play with colored pencils for just a minute, and then we're going to start to make it. Are you ready? It's me, Stacey, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Now at least I have my glasses on. At least I can see what I'm doing now. All right, you guys, down we go. Oh my gosh. I think I just burned the candle at both ends between Germany and trying to keep up with all the YouTube classes. But I sound better. I feel better. I definitely feel better. All right. Now I've got to get my kids better and my husband better. Okay, so Penny Black bundle. If you love Penny Black, you cannot pass this up. You cannot. It is limited. There's no question about it. There are 8 stamps in here for $20. You will never see this ever again anywhere else. We are the only place, because I like to negotiate. I like to negotiate as much as I like to teach a class. Okay, so here, $91.60 for $19.99. Now, if there's a live chat going on somewhere over here, this bundle isn't available yet. Once this class is over, I'll make it available. I'll say ready, set, go. And if you don't see a live chat over here, it's already on our site. By all means, head on over and see if there's any still available. It is only good for the week, and then it goes away until we have enough of stuff to do a recap class. All right, so first stamp. How darling is he, right? And what I like about Penny Black is they give you a fabulous sample on the back. Not that you have to monkey see, monkey do, copy it, but it gives you an idea and an understanding of where the color goes and maybe where the shading and the shadows go. Beautiful. Then I've got the little girl. Isn't she just darling? She really is. And on the back, again, a little bit of shading, a little bit of shadow, just to give you an idea of where things should or could, what colors you could use. Now, not all of them are going to require coloring. Now, this is one of my favorite stamps, and this stamp has been around for a long time. And when I bought it years ago, and I bought it again just because I love her so much. And this is part of their slapstick line. So these are red rubber stamps with a cling on them that allow them to cling to your acrylic block. Now this one doesn't need coloring at all. This is a silhouette stamp. It doesn't get much easier than this, and wait till you see the samples. A happy birthday, because who doesn't need a happy birthday? Good for kids, good for adults, good for seniors, good for guys, good for gals. Just a really basic, fun, kind of whimsical happy birthday. I've got a beautiful, beautiful tree branch. So we did a with sympathy out of this, and it just came out stunning. These may be designs that you passed on in the past because, well, maybe they were a little pricey, or maybe they just didn't catch your attention. But now for $19.99, it's like, maybe. A great background stamp. How do you say no to a background stamp, right? And then last but not least, look at how pretty. And again, beautiful samples on the back to give you ideas of how they could be colored. So in this bundle for 20 bucks, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Wow. For penny black, you know that that's an amazing value. All right, so now that you've seen the bundle, let's talk a little bit about colored pencils. Colored pencils and watercolor pencils are not the same thing. These are Brunswick colored pencils. They're lovely colored pencils. They are, we buy them through Royal Talons, which is a fine art company. These are probably more fine art colored pencils than what you're gonna find at most craft stores. The quality is amazing. Do you have to use this quality? No. No, you don't. You can use any kind of colored pencil you want. Just know that when it says colored pencils and not watercolor pencil, those are different. Watercolor pencils are something that where the actual pencil, what's inside, you color with it, you dip your paintbrush in some water, and it will take the color and literally make it into a paint to where you can paint with it. Colored pencils are a wax-based product, so almost like a crayon, but in a very high pigmented color fast method or a color fast product. And when I say color fast, that means how long is it going to last and not yellow. And these colored pencils are beautiful. Do you have to have the most expensive? No. Can you go get yourself an inexpensive set of colored pencils to see if you even like it? Absolutely. Now, to go with colored pencils, we also do something called gamsol. This is gamsol or mineral spirits. This one is by our friends at Crafter's Companion. It's their Spectrum Noir brand. You use it in conjunction with things called stumpies. I struggled to figure out what this was called for a full minute. Stumpies are a compressed paper tool, almost like a little schmoozer, but it is compressed paper, which means it has enough structure that you can press down hard to move things. These don't bend easily. And they're very easy to use and to sharpen, because you sharpen them kind of like a pencil, so that once you have them, these should last you quite some time. We're going to play with the colored pencils first and just do a really quick overview, and then I'm going to move on to using them with a stamp. Now, colored pencils look very much like a crayon when you color with them, and I just want to make sure that I'm in an okay space on camera. I'm my own camera person, so I'm not always the best, but I certainly do try. All right, so, and you can see they kind of look like a crayon. They're not a solid color. You can see a little white coming through, and it almost has like a little orange peel effect to them. Let's see, what other color do I like? Well, I like all the colors. I'm the girl who had to have all the colors. Now, if this was a watercolor pencil, I could take a paintbrush, dip it in some water, and then run it over these, and it would take this pencil and make it into a paint. It would dissolve it into something that I could move and flow all over. This is a colored pencil, which means it's wax-based. It's not going to move with water at all. In fact, here's a little bit of water. Let me do another color. A little bit of water. That's a no can do. It is not meant to move with water. It is meant to move with gamsol or mineral spirits. Now, the bottle that we get from Crafter's Companion is bigger than what we used to get from Inky Antics, and we do still have those kits. This one, I put a little bit of a hole in the top, that way it doesn't spill, nor does it evaporate so quickly. Gamsol can evaporate. You do want to have it sealed nice and tight. It has kind of an oily feel to it, and this is a very, very low odor to no odor. Yeah, and there's very, very little odor to this, if at all. And what it does, it's going to take that pencil and it's going to melt that wax, almost giving it a smoothed out finish. So I can dip my pencil into my Gamsol, and my recommendation is that you get a little bit of a I don't have one right now, a little bit of a cotton ball and put it in there, put some Gamsol on it so you can dip in. The problem with doing it the way I'm doing it is, one, I can't put it back in the jar. Two, if I dip my stubby in there, because this is compressed paper, it will just start to absorb this Gamsol and it will go and I can never get it back out of my stubby. Can we all go together? Because the minute I put that in there, this is high porous paper. It's just going to absorb it. So I need to be careful as I'm doing it. But it does take, and it melts that wax beautifully. Can you see the difference? Let's do the orange. So you can see I've got a little Gamsol on my stubby. It brightens the color because it's melting the color. Is it safe for kids? Yeah, kids can use Gamsol. Supervision would be good, yes. It's not hot, it doesn't burn. So if you're working with your grandkids or your children, I would be there to supervise, but this definitely gives them an opportunity to play with color. Whereas water on colored pencils just doesn't work. You just don't get the same result. Let's see if I can go in here. And I can just smooth that out. So that is how colored pencils work. It's not difficult at all. And it's a clean, easy way of coloring without getting into alcohol markers, or, like I said, watercolor pencils are going to actually allow you to paint. This keeps the pencil kind of in a very specific area, but softens it. And if you are new to coloring, this is a very easy way for you to do it. All right, so now let's grab one of our guys, and I think I'm going to do him. Now, what I like about the penny black stamps is that they are indexed, which is nice. Indexed means they've printed the image on the top of the cling. Not all red rubber cling stamps have the image printed right on top. That's a nice little feature to them. I'm going to grab a block. This is an acrylic block. Lots of companies sell acrylic blocks. We carry the Couture Creations. There's 5 blocks for $15. That is a holy smokes artichokes price without question. The stamp clings to the acrylic. There's no sticky here. There's no tape. There's no adhesive. It clings kind of like when you were a kid, or maybe your kids have now, the vinyl clings that go to your windows for all the holidays, Easter eggs and the Easter bunny and Valentine's hearts, and you put them on the windows and then they pull right off because they're done of vinyl. This is very much the same. It just clings right to it. And because it's a red rubber stamp, the etching in it is beautiful. absolutely beautiful. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to ink it up with the ink from Jacquard. This is a color pad from Jacquard. It is their new black waterproof ink. It is very much like an India ink. It's a little blacker than an India ink. And we put these in a couple YouTubes. We've had them in a couple of YouTubes. So I don't know that I'll put it on. It's not part of a Make It Monday today. I don't think so. But you would like to have a nice black ink that does not move with any kind of water. So a dye-based ink that doesn't move with water. Hero Arts India ink, Memento ink, or the new color pad from Jacquard. And $4.99 for the pad. It's a great value. He did a great job. I'm going to take and ink up my stamp, and I don't have to do this. So how was your day? You've had a good day? I'm glad you had a good day. How was your weekend? Oh my gosh, did anybody watch the Super Bowl yesterday? Oh, that last 3 minutes was very exciting, wasn't it? So that's a lot of ink. I could have stopped a long time ago. Lots of people like to over ink their stamp. And once it's done, it's done. Once you can see that you've covered the entire thing, going back over it and over it and over it, stop. Now I'm working on a gush pad. We are sold out of our gush pads, and what this is a high density piece of foam. In fact, it still says Stacey's on it. This is half of one. We sold it in an 8.5 by 11, and this allows you to make a better impression when stamping. If I was to stamp directly onto my craft mat here, I'm on a hard table, the stamp has no place to sink into. So if I don't press everywhere evenly, I might be left with what they call a hole, meaning that I got a little area of the stamp that didn't transfer. If you're able to put it onto something like a density foam, this is a very specific density, but not a mouse pad, that's not quite gushy enough, it's not quite thick enough. But something that will allow you, gosh, now I hope, well, we'll see. Might have dried, I might be waiting too long. It allows you to go in, give a press, and what's happening is as I'm pressing, the stamp is sinking into the paper, which is sinking into the gush pad. It's giving the stamp a better opportunity to make contact with that paper. Let's see. Oh, perfect. Gosh, and I talked to you for a while, didn't I? And the ink still stayed beautiful. So there he is on black ink. Easy, done. But now you want to color him. That's where the colored pencils are going to come in. And we're going to start with black ink, but we're not going to stay with black ink. Let me see if I can go in just a little bit further. We're going to start with black ink, but we're not going to stay with black ink. I'll see if I can turn them around and color them upside down. So I'm going to grab my colored pencil, and I've got a brown here because I'm going to do his hat. And I'm going to follow right along the brim of his hat with this colored pencil. Right along the brim. And I'm not going to worry so much about whether I'm scribbling or how well I color in. I just want to add a little bit of color right up against that stamped image line. Can you see how I've done that? And can you see how much negative space I've left? A lot of white space. That white space that I've left here, that's called negative space. I need that negative space because when I melt my wax from my colored pencil, I need to move it into something. If I were to color all of his hat the same color and then use my gamsol, I would have no highlights or midtones. I would have a solid color of this brown. And if that's what you want and you just want to get rid of that kind of orange feely or orange peely cranny looking that you'll get with a colored pencil, that's fine. But I'm trying to give a little depth perception. So having the stamped image, I know I just need to stick around the outside of the actual image. Then I can go in. Grab a little bit of my gamsol, and I can pull the color out. and I'm moving it into that white negative space. So that the whole hat isn't exactly the same color. His brim is a little darker over here, a little lighter over there. If I wanted to make it a little darker here. The beautiful thing with colored pencils is that you don't have to wait for your paper to dry. With watercolor, you would have to wait for your paper to dry before you add your next color. And I'm just making little semicircles, little circles, and moving that color around, filling in that negative space. And if I wanted a little more shadow back over here, I just add a little more color. So you use the actual stamped image as a guide. See how I just put a little bit there? Take my stubby and pull it out. In fact, I can put just a little bit more in there too. Just a little bit. Just a little, pull it out, just so I have a little shading back there. Done. Okay with that. So now I have the rest of his hat. So same thing, I'm going to go up and around, and I'm just going to follow the line of my stamped image. And see how much negative space I've left? A little bit of gamsol. And pull that color and have it melt. This is the easiest way to color when talent wasn't necessarily bestowed on you. I am not the best colorer, but I can do this. And you'll all say, oh my gosh, you have to be a good colorer. No, I have my strengths, and coloring is not necessarily one of them. However, when I learned how to use colored pencils, the first time I saw them, I was like, I can do that. I can. Now I left the little sash, on his hat to a different color. Let's say, what do we use? Maybe a blue? And I have my stubby. And you're like, okay, but how do you get rid of the brown? Well, you use what they call is an eraser. It's a piece of sandpaper. You get many of them on one, and because it's paper, you literally just sandpaper off the old color. And move on to your next color. So it's kind of like a pencil. We're sharpening it. We're sharpening off the old color, and now I'm free to use my next color. And I will put this on sale. We carry the Spectrum Noir accessories kit. This has everything but the gamsol. I'll show this to you later, but if you're going to play with colored pencils, this thing is a rock star. Love it. The minute I saw it, I knew we had to have it. I had never seen a kit so well put together, where it gives you everything that you're going to need. Now, see, I'm just going to do a little blue here. Let me see if I can go down just a little bit more. A little blue here. And a little blue here. Can you see how much negative space I've left? Holy smokes, artichokes, right? That's because I'm going to dip in my gamsol. And I'm going to bring it out. because I want it a little darker at the ends and a little lighter in the middle. Darker at the ends. Bam. His hat is done. It's easy and fast and effective. Let's do his pants. And I'm trying to do this upside down, so but if Ginger, who has Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, right? If she could do everything Fred Astaire did, only backwards and in high heels, I can do this. Now, what color do we, maybe we'll do the blue for his pants. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna come around and I'm just gonna follow. The stamped image of where his pants are. And I'm not exact. And I'm not perfect. But it's there. I think that's good. And let's grab that blue again. Hello, blue. Where did you go to? Hello, blue. A little bit of gamsol. And now I'm just going to start to pull that color kind of out. I'm going to let that gamsol do all the work for me. I'm just going to let it do all the work for me. No paintbrushes, no water. And just kind of let it do all the work for me. Right? You can do this. This is not hard. A little bit around, or should I do his pockets? No, I'll just do them in the blue. A little bit around. And a little bit of gamsol. And you're coloring. You are coloring. Ha! Didn't know it could be so simple, right? Do his little shoes. Little gamsol. So for the ladies who don't like to color, as James likes to say, he loves colored pencils. He feels so accomplished when he uses them. He has the biggest set of colored pencils that he could get. Thankfully, we have friends. Oh, that's a dark blue. Because I think he has the big set of Brunzel. And we're coloring. It can be that easy. It can. What about, do I want to try his jacket? For his jacket, I would need to turn it back up towards me so I can see it. But let's try his jacket. How about a little bit of his jacket? I'm just going to come in here and follow and follow and leave that patch white and kind of follow. I think that's pretty much his jacket. And then let's grab let's just do his jacket. And all of that red is going to melt. And I'm going to do little swirly motions because that's the easiest thing for me. And then if there's any place I want to come in and make that red darker, I just come in and color right on top. Maybe I want that trim just a little bit darker red. And I don't even have to gamsol that. I can just leave that as is. And in no time at all, you look like you've mastered coloring. You're going to do this as a card for somebody, maybe as a retirement or a birthday card or something for Papa or Grandpa or Dad or your husband or even your son who's now turning 45. And they're going to be amazed at your talent. They really are. But this isn't the only way to color. I did this with black ink. What if you wanted something to almost look like it was hand-drawn as opposed to the black ink? How would you do that? Well, there's a couple different options. I have got 2 inks from Couture Creations. This is their outline ink is what they call it. It's in pink and it's in gray. This is a soft waterproof ink, which means you can use it with your alcohol ink markers. You can use it with watercolor pencils. You can use it with colored pencils, just about everything. And instead of stamping, instead of stamping in black to get that black image, one, two, three, A, B, C, and up. Beautiful! Instead of getting the black image, let me go back just a little bit now that we're not coloring. I'm going to clean my stamp. And let's see about maybe the gray. So instead of a black ink pad, now I'm working with a gray ink pad. Let's see. And 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Let's see if this is a little softer. Oh, much. Look at the difference between the 2 images. Black, gray. Why would I want to do it in gray? Well, if I want something to look like I actually hand drew the image, like I'm oh so talented, hello. I want people to think that I actually drew the image. Or I just don't want the black outline. I want it to be a softer look. That's when you would use the pink or the gray, because it allows you to go in and it almost hides the lines. So if I go here with my brown, like we did before, and I go all the way around just like we did before, we're doing a wash, a rinse, and a repeat, only with gray ink, a soft gray. And it has to be a waterproof. It can't move with, you don't want to use your alcohol inks and then have it smear all over the place. And I'll come up and do this one at the same time. So now it's going to look like the hat is in brown. There's no black ink to speak of. I'm going to grab my stubby, a little bit of gamsol, and just like I did before. Oh, well, I'm going to pull this color just softly out. So I haven't done anything different. Than what I did before. Sorry, guys. Grab a drink. And just pull that color out. Okay. So now it looks like you stamped his hat in the brown ink. Totally different look. It's a very popular look, having the actual ink almost like it fades away. Let's grab that blue. I was doing so good. So just like I did before, I still have gamsol on my stubby. So the option's yours. Which look do you like better? Now I could go darker on this one like I did this. I could absolutely go darker if I wanted, but it gives that outline, takes the black away. It makes it look like it was free-handed. That's pretty rock star, but you have your choice. Which do you like better? What about his pants? Let's do the blue in his pants. And same thing, I'm just gonna draw right along the stamped image because that's my guide. just going to draw right along. Just go right along with it. And all the little lines that they've given you for detail, I'm just going to follow those too. So here I am, same place we were before. And then let's just take it right on out. So this is super popular when doing things like florals because it hides the black, softens everything up just a little bit, and gives the impression that it was a hand-drawn image. And then I can come back with the blue. And any place there was detail, I can just put that right back on in. And I don't even have to gamsol it. I don't know which one you like better. The beautiful thing is, with the change of an ink, you can do both. You are not limited. It's all about what color ink you use. Black ink gives you a much stronger, more defined look. A soft gray, a soft pink. Gives you more of a hand-drawn. There's not a right nor is there a wrong. It's a preference. And what you may choose to do here today, tomorrow you may choose to go this way. Let's get his jacket. And I'm just drawing right along the stamped image. And you can see it hides that ink so well. And it leaves that line behind as if it was stamped in red ink or hand drawn in. And if I want to go back and put my detail back in, I can just redraw, and I don't even have to gamsol it. And all that detail just gets drawn right back on top. It's totally different, a softer look. It doesn't make it better, it just makes it different. Now, what if I grabbed my little girl here and I brought over let's see if I can get 1, 2, ooh, it'll be tight. Well, I'll try. I'm going to try and get 3 images on here. So let's start with the pink. Okay, there she is. Very soft in color. Now let's go to the gray. No, I'm not going to have room for the black. Let's do a black one over here. So now I've got my pink and I've got my gray. And then a black. So you may be all about using the black ink because you want that very bold, very easy to see all the definition. Or you may say, I might want to try that where the lines just disappear. And does it have to be the outline ink pad from Couture Creations? No, but it does have to be something that is ideally waterproof or does not move with liquid. So a Tim Holtz ink is not going to work because his Distress inks do move. They're supposed to move. So let me go back just a little bit. So we've got our gray, our pink, and our black. All right, I'm gonna color her skirt real quick. Yeah, I'm just going to tape these together. That way we can see apples to apples to apples. Bam. There, now I have a piece of paper that's big enough. So, do we want to do her skirt in pinks? So I can go... Oh, it's got little cherries on it, so maybe we'll do it in the red because it's got little cherries on it. So I'm going to go all the way around her skirt. And I'm going to color right on top of that gray line. Anywhere I see gray lines, I'm just going to color right on top of. Okay, so there's her skirt. And let's do this one. Should we do that in a different color? Should we do that? We could do that in the pink. Or maybe, nope, we'll do this in this pink. And all the way around wherever I see the lines. And I am not being careful because I know that I'm going to smooth all of this out. I'm not being exact. You'll see. I'll show you. where those lines are is where I'm putting the color. And then maybe for the black one, we'll do purple. And on the black one, I'm going to go slightly inside the black line. So for the lighter colored, I'm coloring exactly on the line. And for the black, I'm just coloring close to. I don't have to color directly on it because I'm not trying to hide the black line. So you can see the difference. And you can see I'm not exact. Well, you can barely see that one though, right? Same there. I'm not exact. All right, so let's grab my gamsol and my red. And I'm just going to kind of work that color all the way around. In my cute little semicircle kind of motion. A little more gamsol if I need it. And I need that negative space, I need that white space for my pencil as it's melting to move into. Maybe we'll just do the little cherries. And a little green. And anywhere I see that I still need to move color into, I can either add more color in or I can leave it like that. But if I want it more pronounced, I can come back and I can just add more color. I don't have to wait for anything to dry. That's really nice. I don't even have to be exact where my lines are. And now I can make those ruffles even a little bit more pronounced. And what you're missing is that harsh black line. And I think I'll come in and do her little flounce in maybe I'll do her little flounce in a blue. And I mean, I'm just scribbling. I mean, I really just scribbled that in there, didn't I? And now just kind of move it around, creating the image. and the illusion of what is there versus having that heavy black line telling you what is there. I'm just creating a little illusion of what's there. If I wanted a little darker on the bottom, just to give a little more weight towards the bottom. And I'm just scribbling. Giving just an illusion of a cute little flounce at the bottom. So let's do the pink real quick. Let's grab one for the pink and make sure that I've copied everywhere, I've colored everywhere, and just kind of pull that color. Maybe I use one a little bit bigger, go a little bit faster. There we go. So I did a little bit bigger on my stubby, just so I could go through a little bit faster. And I'll do the same. I'll do a blue under. And blue. Just to give the illusion of the little ruffles. And if I want more blue, to weight it down to the bottom a little bit. And what I mean by weighted is give it a little more definition at the bottom, so you have a slightly defined line, but it looks like it was hand done. I'm using the stamped image kind of as a reference point, not necessarily as an exact guide. So cute, so cute. Am I happy with my pink? I actually think I am happy with my pink. I do think I'm happy with my pink. Step away from the pink, Stacey. And she's got a little blue petticoat underneath there. And now let's do the black. Because there is no right and there is no wrong. It's up to you what works best for you. And I did the black and the purple. Make sure and those black lines are going to stay black. They're not going to hide. And this one I can just blend right into each other because I'm not trying to worry about those black lines at all. They're just going to stay where they are. And maybe I add a little more purple off to the side for a little bit of a shadow, and a little purple off to the side for a shadow here. And maybe a little bit of red off to the side here for a little bit more of a shadow. And a little bit of a red over here for more of a shadow. And a little bit of pink over here for more of a shadow. And a little bit of pink over here. And then blend it on out. And my purple. So totally different looks. All of them achievable. Just depending on what makes your heart happy. And my red. Just so she's got a little bit of a shadow and highlight going on. You decide. You play. Playing is the best way. Playing with no expectation of anything is the best way to get everything. It really is. Best way to get everything is to just start and have no expectation of where it's going to lead you. Now I want to go through and I want to finish her because I want her whole dress done, and she's got little bloomers on and her little bows in her hair. But I think you see the idea of how using different inks for your stamps can change what the finished look is, and how colored pencils can be so simple. So simple. I mean, I could just go through and follow all the little lines of her hair. Maybe a different brown. And in no time at all, her hair can be done. It looks daunting when you start. You're like, how am I ever going to color all of that? I just am not great at coloring. But when you're working with tools that make it easy, everybody can color. Just ask James. James is my son. He loves using his colored pencils. And before you know it, she's done. All right, so I'm not going to be able to make her into something, but I've got her started. I've got 3 of them started. And I've got 2 of my little guys started. And now you see the difference between what a black pad can do, a waterproof black pad, versus something of a outline ink that lets you do no line stamping. Oop. They each have their own benefits and their own look. And how colored pencils are so simple to utilize. So what did we make? Well, we didn't make anything, but we sure did play. Right? And I think that it helps explain colored pencils. And for those of you who are a little afraid of stamping and coloring, how simple it really can be. And you may start with black ink and then give yourself permission to try a soft ink and finish it all the way to the end and then see what you've got. Finish it all the way to the end. It's only coloring, and this was only white paper. So for our Make It Monday today, it is all about the penny black stamps. 8 different stamps, $91 value, a little over $91. Sale price $19.99. Can't go wrong there. Cannot go wrong there. 20 bucks, absolutely. And then let me show you the accessory, because this is pretty much a rock star item, and I will put this as part of the Make It Monday item. If you are looking, I mean, this is everything you need with the exception of the gamsol. It gives you the pencil sharpener. It gives you the stumpies. It gives you the eraser tool. It gives you pencils to sketch if you want to do a light sketching. I mean, everything is here. It gives you room to put paintbrushes in if you wanted to. So we'll put this on the Make It Monday just so you have it, along with their gamsol. And I'll do the 2 outline inks from Couture Creations. And I guess we'll do the Brunswick pencils. I have them in 12, 24, and 36. Up to you. Brunswick is a beautiful name. It's a beautiful quality product. You're going to be happy with it, no doubt. But if you are looking to use a slightly lesser quality pencil, you can. It's okay. The gamsol is going to make you look great. The Brunswicks just happen to be a high quality item at what we feel is a reasonable price for a fine art medium. So all of that will go on sale, but most importantly is the stamp bundle. And I do have samples to show you. So let me grab the samples over here. He's darling, right? The sentiments we used were from our own stash, but he's so cute. Look at how easy that happy birthday is. And this was done with markers. This was just colored in. And remember, I said not all of them you needed to color. This is a pattern paper with the stamped image done in white embossing powder. That is that. Wow. Hello. Yeah, sign me up, please. This is this. Yay. And yes, you could have done this with your colored pencils very easily. And I just love her. I do. And then here, Fussy cut out. So Fussy cut out the stamp and popped it. You have options. And then here, just so soft and so sweet with sympathy. Just the branch with the main trunk with the little light branches coming off of it in simple, soft colors and with sympathy. And then look at how cute is she when she is done, right, darling? And then again, this one again. White ink, embossed, and then inked over the top. Our background stamp, the whole background stamp. And last but not least, our happy birthday. So we had a really easy, fun one. Cute and love the colors and happy, and then we have one maybe a little elegant. Done in embossing powders. You have options. So I hope you liked today's Make It Monday. For those of you who already bought it, well, wahoo kachoo for you. I took it off the side as soon as I realized what I had done, but it'll be back up soon. Where do you find all this product? Well, the Make It Mondays are only here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. We negotiate with manufacturers. I go looking for product, and then I go and ask them, can we, could we, would you? And thankfully they all said, yes, we will. So it's been a great program, because it allows more of you the opportunity to have product that you might not have ever been able to afford before. And the manufacturers need it to go. They do. So, and it gives me the opportunity to show you another way to use. You may already have outline ink at home. Absolutely. You may already have colored pencils at home. Absolutely. Another way to use them to remind you, oh yeah, I can do that. Or gosh, I've never seen that before. I had no idea that's how they did it, and I can do that too. So it'll all go on sale. If there's no live chat going on, well, it's already on sale. And for the rest of you, take advantage if you love it. And if you just like to learn something new today, well, I'm glad you joined me for that too. I will be back on Thursday for our next expedited. I can't remember who it is. It's somebody. But I'll be back Thursday at 5 p.m. sunny California time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern to do our premiere. I don't know who it is off the top of my head, but it's definitely somebody. We're finishing up with, is it Spellbinders that's going on right now? Spellbinders expedited sale is going on right now, the Say Yes to Spellbinders sale. So if you're looking for all of this great product and it's during the premiere, well, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Look for the Make It Monday category, or on our homepage. Usually there's a big image that says Make It Monday. Click into that, and if you're ready, set, go. I'm making all the product live right now. I appreciate you joining me. Sorry if this ran. If we started at 6 and not at 5, I'm going to let you know. You'll see it when it's posting, what the estimated time is for the premiere. I hope you were able to make it, and I hope you had a great time today. So for me, Stacey, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and Penny Black, who did an amazing job. I asked, can I get this for this price? And they said yes. Never expecting them to say yes, but they did, because they know how much our customers mean to us, and that means you mean that much to them too. All right, you guys, I will see you later. Take care, and it's me, Stacey, Scrapbooking Made Simple. Stacey's out. Ready, set, go, 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 go. Bye, everybody.